Hello there and welcome back to Destination Sacred Grounds vlog. I wanted to bring some really good motorhome hints and tips this week, but unfortunately my son was involved in a motorbike accident and I was on mama duties for the week. So when I was there, I was actually thinking about some of the stuff that I'd been doing on the road and how long I'd actually been on the road for. And it was over 4 months. I have been on the road for over 4 months. So I can't believe how quick the time has flown, and I guess I needed to just bring it all in to find out, if this is still the right thing for me, what I might need to change, looking from, the high points to the low points and all the balancing acts in between. So this vlog today is more about a personal journey. So if you want to know what it's like for a newbie like myself being on the road for 4 months, stick around. Starts with the reasoning why I chose this lifestyle, why I decided to go on the road in the first place. After 20 years of working in community services sector, I was burnt out. I burnt out numerous times, and I had a decision whether I could stay in that lifestyle or I could change it. And the only person who was responsible for my well-being and health was myself. So I made that decision to change my lifestyle and get on the road. After some in-depth work on myself, taking a personal inventory, I decided to make big drastic changes. And one of the people who had really supported my journey was a guy by the name of Dr. Joe Dispenza, and I'll put a link in the comments. When first hitting the road, there were so many low points. I had purchased a motorhome who had so many issues, and the dealership were not helpful in the slightest. So I had lots of challenges to overcome. I had to learn all about motorhomes, living the full-time lifestyle on the road, as well as learning how to build a business, a brand new business, in the midst of COVID. I had no idea about businesses. I had no idea about motorhomes. There were times where I really reflected and wondered if I was still on the right track. And, some of those old thought patterns came in, like, you can't do this, you're not worth it. And with all the work that I'd done, I was able to overcome and, change those beliefs around and recognize new thoughts like, no, I can actually do this. I'm worthy. I'm solid and strong and I can get this done. I can drive it home. Even when there were moments where I had no power, I had constant rain and even sleet, I still tried to manage the best I could, trying to bring in as much positivity as I possibly could. I made so many mistakes. From the start, not even getting a third party to look at Calypso, the motorhome, because there were so many things wrong with her. I had backed into somebody in a really tight space. I was wondering why my gas isn't working when I hadn't even turned it on. Like, there were so many things that I needed to learn. And as time progressed, I did eventually learn. Like, I'm still learning. It's a long, lengthy process, especially when you don't know anything about motorhomes to start with. But I'm getting there and I'm feeling into this now and it feels much better. And I'm not so confused with all of the gadgets and the things that I need to learn in order just to live comfortably. What really supported me throughout this time, especially the transition time, was doing meditation and mindfulness every single day, even when I didn't feel like it. These self-care practices were what kept me together. I think that if I didn't have these self-care practices in place, things would have been much more difficult. So it took roughly around 3 months to get used to this lifestyle, and apparently talking to others, it's about the same for them as well. So this 3 months, or actually now 4 months, I've seen so much beauty, like traveling in and venturing into new lands and listening to the lands, acknowledging the lands. It's been beautiful. To see and feel and experience new wildlife has been one of my greatest joys in life. My heart is so happy. I feel truly amazed and blessed to be alive. All of the decisions, all of the choices that I made to get me to this point right now, to have that absolute trust and faith in the universe and myself to make the decisions that I did and be right here, right now. You couldn't ask for a happier person. So looking back over these past 4 months, I really needed to reflect to ensure that I was on the right track. So I recognized that I'd started to become really busy again. And I'm like, what is this busyness? You know, how do we become so busy? And I know working, you know, for your own business, in your own business, takes a lot of dedication, time, and hard work. And that's okay. Like, I feel like I'm on track with that. Vlogging, I was like, oh, you know, it takes a lot of time. Is it right for me? Do I need to continue it? And I reflected on the reasoning for that. And so here's the reasoning here. When I first realized that I wanted to go full-time in a motorhome, I researched and researched and researched. I was on YouTube constantly looking at other full-timers, and they were really great vloggers, by the way, but I couldn't find any women vloggers who were living full-time in a motorhome in Australia. None. That's what I needed in order to kind of really support me in my transition period. One of my other reasons was I had spoken to hundreds of people, like literally hundreds over the years, and including myself, there was one common theme, and that was a lack of self-worth. You know, we couldn't believe that we had the capacity to do whatever our hearts desired. And I wanted to show other people, if I could do it, you could do it too. And I wanted to provide a platform for self-care for people who may not have access, but may have access to YouTube or social media, to show other people how I do self-care and give other people practical tips. These past 4 months have been such a learning curve. I have learned so much within this time, and I'm super grateful for that. It was frustrating in the time, but again, with self-care practices, I really kind of supported my transition process. I live minimally on the road, trying to be as self-sustainable as I can. I give to the earth and she gives back tenfold. My appreciation is plentiful. I live life on my terms, according to my dreams. This is my life, and I choose it again and again and again. And obviously, not all moments are happy, and you know, there's frustrations and there's challenges, and you know, there's little bits of anxiety that I get. But overall, this is the best life I could possibly ever hope or dream for. And something's just fallen. That happens sometimes. Follow your dreams. Have trust in yourself. Because if you actually do, you might succeed.